what. And if you look at the top here, you see the Acolyte jacking the Tree of Life spot. So that is actually kind of an important part of this particular game, because they're both fighting for another expansion. And at this point the Undead really needs it. The United Elf player is only really trying to prevent it. So at this point in the game you actually have to be able to push it. So you'll notice what he's doing is he's getting Dryads and Huntress. Reason being is because he needs a little bit more melee, but you don't want to get bears because you need some Dryads. So that's really the reasoning behind what he's getting. And Tree of Life goes down, which sucks. Good news is his other gold mine ran out, so we can actually lock that down. And that's a free expansion right there. Hooray. So, yeah, he is switching up his army composition a lot in this game, but really, if you just sort of stick more to the standard army composition, you should be fine anyways, as opposed to what he's done. Because you can also do this with, basically, bears and dryads. I prefer the hippogriff just because it's less micro, but that's just me and I'm lazy. He doesn't have a ball of shit, I don't think, because otherwise he would have gotten rid of that lava spawn. Nah, he doesn't have it. I'm just guessing he doesn't have it. But he should get it. And now he's going to camp this expo, and that's what you really should be doing, because it's a key point. I mean, he's not going to run down and try and stop an expansion that's already up, especially when you have a town portal. A town portal with Entangle and Dryads. That's really the clincher there. Is that if you sort of town portal trade, or you force him to town portal and you run away, you're going to get something entangled, and you're probably going to lose it. Especially because Dryads will be able to catch up with the stuff you entangled. So if he goes to devour it, he's still going to lose that. And if he's not careful, he could lose the destroyer too. So it's one of those trading games. And Warcraft 3 sort of is a trading game. I mean, when you enter a battle, you're obviously going to lose something. It's not like you're going to be like, hey, let's not trade kills and I'll just kill everything that you have without you killing me. It's like, I'm going to go into this battle and I'm going to risk losing a certain amount of units to try and get more unit kills, because I think my army can beat yours, but I still have to make some sort of trade. Like, if I'm against a level 5 panda, I obviously have to know that I need a healing scroll, and trading a healing scroll for a fiend to save 3 fiends is always a good thing to do. So a bear dies, but so does a fiend, and the burrowed fiend is probably going to get raped eventually. But you'll notice at this point he's just sort of overrun him with units, and that's sort of the beauty of this strategy, especially if they don't expo, that you can just sort of overrun them. Now, one key point, or another key point, is that you don't want to break high upkeep when you're doing this. You want to push when you have 80 food-ish. Oh, panda goes down. That's a bummer. So he traded a panda for a destroyer. As I said, trading game. So, yeah, basically you just want to sort of keep map control until you can win the game. And it's a fairly easy strategy to execute, and it's more up to the Undead player if he's got the wherewithal to actually be able to out-micro you that much, to be able to pick off units here and there and do all the wonderful things that you need to do to actually beat the strategy. So, again, he's going to go camp his expo. And this will be the game clincher, because Keeper Grove is level 6. Alright. Tranquility is such a sweet skill. Tranquility with Starfall is probably the coolest thing you can do in this game. And a bear gets owned. That's too bad. Actually, I didn't really mention this before, but if you focus the Fire Lord, there's really not much you can do to save it, except use potions. So basically, every time you focus the Fire Lord, you're forcing him to not only go to the shop, but you're also forcing him to spend money. And that's always good to know. Like, if he can't coil it, I mean, you might as well just focus it if it's out in the open. Take advantage of the advantages that you are given. And for some reason, he still hasn't devoured this Sentinel here. I think it's only worth 25 mana or something. And is he going to bring those A-bombs? He has 2 A-bombs, why isn't he bringing those? I didn't notice this when I was watching it before. He'll notice them. Right, guys? Yeah, there we go. He doesn't have, one of my favorite skills, actually, Disease Cloud. That was weird. He used the mana from his wells to actually replenish his panda's mana. I guess Moonwell Juice, he's got tons of it. Well, he's not got tons, he's got 2. And he's got Chops, so he's fine. I don't know. I'm usually more prudent with my Moonwell spending. I always get the Moonwell upgrade, especially because you got tons of lumber and it doesn't really cost much gold to do. So, abolish going off, he does have it, I guess. And basically, this battle is going to be Undead trying to focus and run, but stuff getting entangled. So this is sort of some of what I talked about. Plus, he really just doesn't have the army to beat him. Keeper of the Grove gets focused, but that doesn't really work out for him, and Tranquility goes off. That's GG, especially because A-bombs are dropping like flies, and he's still got 51 food of Dryads. So, oh no, Keeper of the Grove has to Talon Portal, but he does do the smart thing and he Talon Portals to his nearest one. You'll notice it still dies though. So, yeah, but you still have a Panda level 6. I mean, what more could you ask for? That was a sweet Breath of Fire. Got a Burrowed Fiend and the Fire Lord. And the Lich dies. Oh, the almost surround. Yeah. So I thought that was not only a cool game, but also a cool strategy to present in a game. Just because it's actually a fun strategy to do. Because you're running around with a Keeper of the Grove, and not many people do that. Plus, it's a fun hero to have. I don't know, I always enjoy Entangle and turning trees into summons. And, yeah, not really much else to say about that. Other than the Undead probably should have gotten Destroyers earlier. And that probably would have saved him a bit of a hassle, given him a bit more map control. And if I were the Night Elf, I wouldn't have gotten Talons at all. Ever. Unless you're doing, like, a mass Talon and Archer strategy, but that's a completely different story. And that would require a completely different audio. And I would have stuck to a more standard unit composition. And I would have gone from there. So, since this is already a long audio, and since that replay was super sweet, and you probably want to watch it again, I'm going to leave you guys to it. Most people are like, are you crazy? That was a long enough replay to get through one time. So I will leave you guys with that. It's a fun strategy to do, so I would recommend trying it. And basically just learn the build order, and then you can kind of adapt it from there. It's a strategy you can easily personalize. So take it easy.